Well, hello, welcome again to our reading of Iliad Book 2, or selections from Iliad Book 2, and I got up to line 35. So in this next section, Agamemnon decides to call a council of the chiefs to tell them of his dream and also of his cunning plan to get the Achaeans to fight. So we begin hos araphonesas ap ebesato. So thus having spoke, now the subject of this here is the dream. I think it's the onedos, the dream. So thus accordingly, having spoken apobasatai, this is from apobino, literally he stepped off, so he departed from apobino. Tonde elepe autu, and he left, this is from Lepo Erist, him, that's Agamemnon, autu, there, in that very place. So he left him there, phronion ta, so it's agreeing back with him, pondering ta, these things, or just pondering the things, so pondering, we'd say these things, anathumon, in his mind, things, what I love this bit, things which ara, well, in fact almost, ou telesthai emelon, are not about to be fulfilled. So this is a future infinitive here, the sigma's dropped out, but it's a future infinitive. So he was pondering things in his mind, things which were not about to be fulfilled. He's going to be tricked by Zeus. Vega ho gyres and priamon polin hematikeno. For, now fe is from fami, he said, but you can probably translate it as he thought, he believed. So he in fact thought that hematikeno, on that very day, future infinitive, he was about to take the city of Priam. So he thought that on that very day he was about to take the city of Priam. And Homer's very clever with this. He holds that next word to the next line, napios, the fool. It's a word meaning a child. It's literally ne plus epios, one who can't speak, but it just means a child. We've probably translated the fool, as he's being tricked by Zeus. Udita edi hara Zeus medatai erga. Nor did he know the works which, so the ta goes with the erga, nor did he know the works, or the plans really, which Zeus medatai, imperfect from medamai, was devising. Thesein ga eti emelon ep algia kaistunakaste. For he was about, this is Zeus now, so he was about, and takes a future infinitive to place, so infinitive from tithemi, for he was about to place further, well perhaps yet more, pains and griefs, and the epi really goes with the trosi here, I think. In some sense, the epi is it's a pre-verb, really belonging with the thesein. So it's a very rare example here of where the preverb epi, or the temesis, if you will want to think of it that way, in the temesis, the preposition actually comes after the verb, and quite a bit of a way, in fact, after the verb. So epi goes with the thesein. For he was about to place against the Trojans and the Danans, through mighty battle, algia, further pains and stunakas, griefs, literally lamentings or griefs and pains. Ergeta de ex hupnu. Now this is an apocryphated form from egero, a chopped off form from egero, to raise. And it's middle here, so he got himself up, so he woke up from sleep, he got himself up from sleep. Theai min, now amphekeo, here's this omphe again we had before, this is the divine word. So the divine word literally poured around him, min for auton. You may recall we had earlier on Oneros, the dream, told him that to make sure that when he woke up, that forgetfulness not take him when he woke up. And I think this verb was used earlier on as well, pouring a dream over him, or pouring a divine word upon him. So it's literally the divine word, we might say here, was ringing in his ears almost, literally had poured around him. So the divine voice for Omphe, the divine voice was ringing in his ears, is probably one way of translating this here. Hedzetot de orthosas, and sitting, so he sat, having straightened himself up from orthoo, and en dune, he put on his malakon ketona, his soft ketone, which is kalon negation. So this is a kind of undergarment thing, a ketone. Presumably it's a bit cold here because he's going to get a pharos in a minute. It's kalon negation. Now negation is one of those words of uncertain meaning, of which there are a few in Homer. It's probably something like previously worn, I should say, or perhaps newly made. It's hard to know with the roots of this. It may be a negative, but then it's not clear what this rest of this is, what the root is here. So presumably a beautiful one, not previously worn, or perhaps newly made, and he cast a great pharos, a great cloak, around himself. So this is middle. So and it's imperfect middle, so he was casting a great cloak around himself, or he began to cast a great cloak around himself. And posse de, and this is from deo, so he, and it's middle, aorist middle, so he bound, or he tied the beautiful peddler sandals underneath his smooth feet. In Homer, the feet are always, this is a stock phrase, the feet are always smooth. I'm not quite clear why, whether they're women or men, but he bound beautiful sandals under his smooth feet. And balletot, he threw around his shoulders, accordingly, a xiphos, a sword, which was aguro elon. This is made from this aguro root of silver, and a halon is like one word for a nail, but it means studded here, I think. So his silver studded sword. Haletot, middle from Hyrio, and he took up his ancestral scepter, skeptron, always apheton, imperishable, undestroyed, not destroyed. So in other words, which has been there forever, basically, is I think the sense of it. It's ancestral scepter, always imperishable. Sunto ebe kata, so neas, so he went to the ships of the bronze-chitoned Achaeans. So it's with which. This is referring back to the skeptron. So with it, he went to the ships of the bronze-chitoned. We would say perhaps. I mean, bronze-chitoned presumably means it's referring to their armor. So they're bronze-armored Achaeans, literally bronze-chitoned Achaeans. Eos men rathia prosebeis atomacron Olympan. So Eos is the dawn, we would say Eos in later Greek, So that the goddess Dawn, pros ebaesatot, she went up, she approached Macron, well, it means far, but perhaps high Olympus, or Olympus which is far away. I'll get this straight here. Tseni Photos, the Eriusi, that's a future participle. It's being about to announce. Photos, uncontracted for phos, being about to announce, we would say to shine or something, a light for Zeus, so being about to announce the light for Zeus and for the other immortals. Atar, but he, this is Agamemnon, Keleuse, aorist without augment, he gave orders to the shrill-voiced heralds. This is the dative plural from Kerux. This is ligus, meaning shrill, and phthongos, a voice, so the shrill-voiced heralds. So he gave orders for them to proclaim, Kerusain, to make an announcement of, or to call really, to the assembly, it's agora and the de ending, to call to the assembly the long-haired Achaeans. And they, that's the heralds, now we get a men and a de, so the heralds went off and they began to proclaim, imperfect from Keruso, but they, that is the Achaeans, ageronto, passive from agero, were gathered, this is passive here, mal oka, very quickly. So they were gathering, it's an imperfect passive here. So they, the Achaeans, were gathering very quickly. Boulain de proton, megathumon, his geronton. So firstly, Hidze, he caused to sit a boulain, a council of the great-hearted geronton, literally old men, but probably here it's more like elder statesmen. So he's really holding a special council here. This select group consisted of all the major leaders, including Odysseus, Nestor, the two Ajaxes, Menelaus, Diomedes, etc. So Geronton here is not really old men, it's really more respected leaders or something. So firstly he set, literally he caused to sit, we would say he held a council of the great-hearted elder statesmen beside the ship, now this is an adjective here, beside the Nestorian ship, that is the ship of Nestor, and another adjective here, the Pylogeneos Basileus, the Pylos-born king. So it's the Nestorian ship of the Pylos-born king. In other words, the ship of Nestor, who was born in the king who was born in Pylos. Tous hoge sun kalesas putniken artuna tobulain. And having called them together, he in fact then having called them together, artuneto, he began to, he began to make, or began to frame, Pukinon Boulain, a cunning plan, a cunning counsel, a cunning plan here, I think. So he begins, the key word is Pukinon, this sort of clever. But this is from artuno, to make ready, the verb means, so it's to put into words, he was beginning to frame a cunning plan. Cluti philoi, here, my friends, oneros, and deos oneros, a divine dream came to me in upneon during the night, through the ambrosial night. So, well, perhaps in upneon, in a dream, I should say, through the ambrosial night. So a divine dream came to me in a dream, so perhaps in my sleep, we might say, through the ambrosial night. Malis destori dio eidos to megathos and eoike. This is technically a pluperfect. It had resembled. Eoika is perfect in form, present in meaning. So when you put it into the past tense, it has to go into the pluperfect in form. So he resembled most of all, and it's taking a dative here, a divine Nestor. He resembled him in respect of his eidos, his appearance, his megathos, his size, and the ankista goes with the oike. Most near. This is a superlative from anki, meaning near. He resembled, really with the malista, most of all, most near. So he resembled very closely glorious Nestor in his eidos, his appearance, his size, and his phue, his form. It's hard to translate these words precisely. Phue is more sort of his shape. Stayed a hoop, it stood above my head and spoke a word to me. The pros again is preverb with the a pen, I think. So he addressed me with a word. Now, much of the next bit is quite repetitive, so I'll do it fairly quickly because it's just repeating all the things we've had before. So, you are sleeping, son of strong-minded, horse-taming Atreus. There is no need for a man who is a bearer of counsel to sleep for the whole night, to whom the people have been entrusted, and for whom there has been a concern for such things. But now quickly hearken to me, or understand things from me. Hearken to me. I am indeed a messenger from Zeus, who, being so far away from you, or so much higher than you, cares greatly and shows pity. He bids you to arm the long-haired Achaeans, Pansudie. That was that funny word meaning in full haste, in great haste. For now you would take the city of the Trojans with its broad streets. Uga et Amphis Olympia. For no longer are the Olympians who have the immortals who have the Olympian houses. No longer do they think apart, so no longer are they in disagreement. For Hera, by beseeching them, praying to them, supplicating them, has turned all of them around. We've seen that expression before in the previous few verses. Has turned them around, and cares have been attached to the Trojans, have been fixed upon the Trojans. Ek dios, at the hands of Zeus. But you, Eke, hold this in your mind. This is an imperative here, I think, but you hold this in your mind. Hos homin apon oiket apoptamenos. And thus he, this is the dream, having spoken, oiketo, he departed apoptamenos from apopetami, having flown away, but sweet sleep, and Aken from Anhiame, rose up from me, departed from me. I'll aget, but come. Now the A is if perchance, for this pose, we might arm, this is that future, we might arm the sons of the Achaeans. This will be a subjunctive here, although it's got a short omicron, it's probably a subjunctive. So if perchance we might arm the sons of the Achaeans. And firstly, now the peirasomai is important verb here. It has the sense of to test them out. I will test them out. The sense is to sort of sound them out, to test their resolve. So I will make a trial of them epesin, dative plural from epos, in words, which is themis, which is the right thing to do. And keleuso, I will bid, understand them, to flee with their ships which have many benches, with their many benched ships, and you, ere tuain, this is infinitive for imperative, as we've seen before. You often get that in Homer, infinitives for imperatives. It means here to restrain or check, hold back. So each one from his own place, so one from here, one from there. So you, one from here, one from there, restrain them with words. So his plan is that he's going to tell them we're giving up, we're going to get in our ships and leave, and then it's your job to convince them, no, we can't do that, we better stay and fight, and that way they'll get their armour on and they'll go back and fight. It's a sort of ploy on behalf of Agamemnon. And that is the next section of Book 2.